How long is the Illinois Conceal Carry training? My name is Joe Malone. I'm the founder of JM Training. I'm a former Special Operations Marine, and I teach people concealed carry as part of my family and personal protection training programs. In the state of Illinois, it is mandated that, by law, the training lasts 16 hours to include range time. And so just to kind of break down what it is, what's coming from the state of Illinois, so you have a better picture and understanding of what's going to be taking place in your concealed carry class if the instructor does it the right way. Because believe it or not, there are some people out there who we call them trunk certificates. They just sign off and give you your certificate. If you do see or attend any of those classes where they don't do the full 16 hours and they don't follow this curriculum, I'll tell you this, that the Illinois State Police does audit and investigate instructors regularly. And if your instructor is found to be insufficient in the training requirements, then your concealed carry license, you'll receive a notice in the mail and it will be revoked, and it'll be up to you to take a full 16-hour class within a certain time frame. So don't be going to bad instructors. Plus, it's just a liability. You're going to do something wrong, but I could do a whole video on that in itself. Now, back to the 16-hour legally mandated requirement when it comes to Illinois concealed carry training. Here you can see we have Section 75 of the Illinois Concealed Carry Act, and Section B is really where this starts off, where it says an applicant for a new license shall provide proof of completion of a firearms training course or combination of courses, which means if you've gone to hunter safety course or NRA training, or if you're a member of the military, you don't have to take a 16-hour concealed carry course. You could use sections. For example, if you're a veteran, 8 hours of the training, the first 8 hours is waived because of your experience in the military. And the first half of training, what we usually talk about is basic firearms, weapon safety, and things like that, which you should know if you're in the military. But quite honestly, for all my veterans out there, if you don't mess with handguns regularly, just take the full 2 days. It's no price difference with me, at least. Maybe you'll get a cheaper price somewhere else, but you're going to get what you pay for, right? So I recommend that you just take both days if you are not completely confident in your level of competence when it comes to a handgun. 16 hours, which includes range qualification time under subsection C, which we'll talk about here in a second. So here's what the Illinois law requires that we cover: firearm safety, the basic principles of marksmanship, care, cleaning, loading and unloading of a concealable firearm, all applicable state and federal laws relating to the ownership, storage, carry, and transportation of a firearm, and instruction on the appropriate and lawful interaction with law enforcement while transporting or carrying concealed firearm. That's called duty to inform. An applicant for a new license shall provide proof of certification by a certified instructor. If you want to know if your instructor is certified or not, you can go to the Illinois State Police website. They have a look up an instructor portal. I haven't been on it in a while, so I don't know how easy it is to use, but I assume it's probably pretty easy. And the applicant passed a live fire exercise with a concealable firearm. Consisting of, so concealable firearm, just so we're clear, means a handgun in the state of Illinois. That's a weapon, a gun that is designed to be fired by one hand. Hand, singular, gun. And of course, we can't have the certain styles of weapons here, which are classified as assault weapons, because we have assault weapons banned, although anything that you assault somebody with is technically an assault weapon. But anyways, I digress to, it's a pistol, it's a handgun. You can't be concealing anything else in the state of Illinois. And you must shoot a qualification with that. Now, I had some students show up with some crazy, weird rimfire 22s in the last couple of classes, and I asked them, I said, do you carry that weapon on you as your concealed firearm? Because these were renewal classes, and they said no. I said, okay, that's cool that we're shooting it, because it is still technically a concealable firearm. Anything can be concealable if you are attempting to hide it from plain sight, from the public view. So a handgun that is capable of being concealed from plain sight and view of the public is technically something that this person can shoot with. The range qualification will consist of, so this is that section C. minimum of 30 rounds, and 10 rounds from 5 yards, 10 rounds from 7 yards, 10 rounds from 10 yards at a B-27 silhouette target approved by the Illinois State Police. Very specific type of target, very big target. And honestly, you don't even need to get it in the score zones like 9 or 10 or X. You just have to hit the target, which is a little bit concerning considering that you're probably going to only perform to 33% efficacy in a high stress situation. And so you really want to be working on getting those close shot groups, especially because 5 yards, 7 yards isn't very far at all. 10 yards is 30 feet. This is where I kind of differ from everybody else, is that my qualification is harder than this basic Illinois State qualification. We start off at the 7 yard line, we go to the 10, we go to the 15, and depending how the class is doing, I'll even pull you back to 20, 25 yard line. And we fire 40 rounds, not 30 rounds. Why? Because as we're moving back to those different yard lines, the errors within your fundamentals of marksmanship are going to start to drastically show on that target. If I'm standing 5 yards away from a target, I could do everything in the world messed up and still hit that target. But when I'm at 25 yards, those same mistakes are going to be exacerbated so egregiously that I can then identify, hey, you're anticipating, hey, you have a weak wrist, hey, you're slapping the trigger, hey, you're pushing off to the left, maybe straighten your shoulders out a little bit, hey, you have a weird stance, maybe just stand up more naturally. So these are the types of corrections that we can make that's going to help build good muscle memory, is what they like to call it. Good habits form by good patterns of behavior, which ultimately that's what happens when we are in a high stress situation. Is you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back to the greatest level of training you've ever received. And if the greatest level of training you've ever received is jacked up fundamentals at a close distance, then that's going to be exaggerated, like way worse in a high stress situation, which means that you might not even end up hitting the bad guy. You might end up hitting somebody else, which you'll be legally liable for, or you might end up getting shot or killed yourself or your loved ones will. And that's also why I always recommend you have USCCA coverage. That's who I like to use. There's other people out there, but I partner with those guys within the JM Training, the Lethality University training program. If you're in the Chicagoland area, you come and you join my training group. You get to work with me directly every single month in a small group atmosphere, totally free. You get all your USCCA membership with elite level membership benefits, which includes the Delta Defense self-defense liability insurance coverage. Everything's covered. Long story short, you get gun sales, you get free gun transfers. I've made this a one-stop shop for anybody and everybody who wants to learn anything possible about personal and family protection. That's what we do here at JM Training. We're located in New Lenox. We shoot at private property. It's outdoor, and we've got all sorts of cool classes that we do every single month moving on throughout the year. And as we go into the winter months, we do some cold weather stuff. As we go into the summer months, we'll do like some hot weather stuff, like wearing board shorts, for example. Anyways, so that's how the actual qualification is supposed to be run. And so again, if you're taking this class somewhere, make sure that you're shooting this qualification, because anything less is not going to be considered legally justifiable in terms of your training. Certificate will be completed, yep, and so you must score a minimum of 70%. Now for me, I make it an 85%, and I probably should make it a little bit higher, like a 90%, but again, I'm trying to give you as much as I possibly can in the short amount of time that we have with one another. Because look, 16 hours might sound long, and relative to the other states, it is the longest requirement in the nation. However, 16 hours, especially if you are new to handguns, is nowhere near enough time to truly become proficient and begin to master the basics of handgun fundamentals. For that, I recommend 40 hours of training, and it doesn't need to be all done at once or in one block. There are ways that you could do it, but you also don't want it to be too spread out, too far out. And that again highlights the importance of joining something like the Lethality University, where you can have access to me 7 days a week. You have questions, you take videos of yourself, you go shooting, dry firing, post these videos, and I'll make these corrections for you because I've trained thousands of people all over the world. I know exactly what it is that I'm looking at, and I could even tell usually before you even send me the video the types of problems that we're going to need to correct. And so having access to somebody like that to coach you, to guide you, and to bring you through that process, all while having access to go shoot in an outdoor controlled and safe facility with like-minded people who are vetted, not just some random people at a gun range mishandling the weapons, to have a standardized safety protocol, which everybody who's trained with me knows I'm crazy about. That's the only thing that I get really crazy about, is like, hey, we need to have standardized weapon safety rules all across the board, verbatim, Everybody must know them. Everybody must apply them. That creates and cultivates such a safe atmosphere and culture that you feel like you belong. And it's not like these other experiences that you may or may not have had at other gun stores where you feel like you're a burden upon people, like you're stupid, like you don't belong there. And for all my firearms people who are working in those places, stop being like that. Stop treating people like a jerk and be more warm and inviting, because they're trying to make a difference in their life. They're trying to learn personal safety protection, personal and family safety and protection. And so you're that liaison, you're that representative. And so be warm and inviting. They should never be bothering you. You should be excited and stoked that they're there to help grow responsible firearms ownership here within the United States and in your community. And so this right here, ladies and gents, is what it is all about. The license is good for 5 years, but that's why it's 16 hours, is because it's required by Illinois state law. And again, this time frame does include the range, and so from the start and to the end of that range qualification, the total time should be 16 hours. Now, if you have any questions, feel free, reach out any point in time. And if you are on the fence or curious, or if you want to take a concealed carry course, or even maybe some more advanced courses, I highly recommend that you check out our schedule. We've got a ton of classes coming up. I love doing this. I've got other instructors that I'm also training to help spread that good message. And so feel free to join us for any of the classes. Once you register, it's good for life. If you have to miss a class or reschedule, you can just drop in at any time. Just give us a heads up so that way we can accommodate you. We got gun rentals, we got your hearing protection, eye protection. You can purchase ammunition. We can literally provide everything for you so that you can have the greatest and most profound training experience of your life, and that you are moving forward with a solid foundation and feeling good and feeling confident, and then ultimately getting equipped. We sell weapons as well, so then you can get the best deal possible, so you know that you're making the right choice, you know that you have the right skill set learning from somebody like me, and ultimately you have somebody like the USCCA there to back you up, to pay for any legal fees and expenses that you may actually incur if you are, God forbid, ever involved in a life-threatening situation. So I'll leave you all with that. Thank you all very much. I love you all. Stay positive. Love your life. Remember, most people are good people, ladies and gents, and that those capable of great lethality are capable of preserving great peace.